It was meant to be just another uneventful night. Dinner was thrown together without much thought, and a forgettable film murmured in the background. The kind of evening that quietly fades into routine when love has aged into comfort. At least, that's what I thought. I believed we were steady, settled, secure. She sat next to me on the couch, curled up with a soft laugh at something on her phone. The glow of the screen lit up her face in cool blue. It was such a small thing, her laughter, but something about it felt distant, like it no longer belonged to me. Then, as I glanced over, a name I didn't recognize flashed across the screen. It was only for a second, easy to dismiss as nothing, but something deep inside me recoiled, an instinctive, cold twist in my gut. She noticed where I was looking almost instantly and without hesitation, turned her phone face down. She smiled calm, like I hadn't just seen something I wasn't supposed to. "It's nobody," she said, as if the word carried no weight. "Just a friend." But when someone hides their phone and says it's no one, you don't need evidence. You just know. Still, I forced it down. Tried to eat dinner. Pretended to watch the movie. Tried to act like the air between us hadn't turned heavy. But it had. Her laugh, once easy, now felt rehearsed. Her touch, no longer gentle or unconscious, but brief and deliberate, like she was checking off a task. And her eyes, they were rarely with me anymore. I didn't say anything. Not that night. I didn't raise my voice or demand an explanation. I simply went quiet. I watched. I listened. And I waited. It didn't take long. She began staying up later. Her phone was always turned face down now, always locked. I'd catch her smiling at messages. The kind of softness I used to know, the space between us, once filled with conversation and connection, had gone silent. I was still in the same house, still sleeping beside her, but I had already faded into the background. Then came the night everything broke. She was in the shower, steam rising from beneath the bathroom door. Her phone buzzed once, then again, and again. I didn't mean to check. I wasn't planning to, but my hand moved before I could stop it, driven by the dread that had lived inside me for weeks. There it was, his name again. Only this time, it wasn't a single message. It was hundreds. Texts, photos, voice notes, inside jokes, pet names, plans, memories in the making, all of them being built without me, morning greetings, midnight selfies. It wasn't a slip. It wasn't a mistake. It was a replacement. Quiet, calculated, and completely devoid of guilt. She hadn't simply strayed. She had replaced me piece by piece, day by day. I didn't wait for her to come out of the shower. I didn't want the lies, the practiced apologies, the hollow remorse. I packed a bag with what I needed, walked out the front door, and didn't look back. No yelling, no letter, no final words. She never thought I'd leave. But that's the thing. She didn't know me anymore. The days that followed were a fog. I checked into a cheap hotel, where the sheets smelled like bleach and the silence was so loud it hurt. She called, texted, over and over. "Where are you? Please talk to me. This isn't fair." I can explain. But explain what? Her choices had already spoken louder than any word she could offer. I blocked her number, deleted every photo, every message, cleared every digital trace of her from my phone, like dust I'd been too tired to wipe away. I unfollowed everything. Our past became silence. But forgetting someone you loved isn't as simple as hitting delete. It's more like slowly lowering the volume on a song you once couldn't stop humming. 2 weeks later, I moved into a small apartment with chip paint and bare walls. But it was mine. For the first time in a long time, I could breathe without questioning myself. Some nights, I still reached for her in my sleep, a reflex my heart hadn't caught up with. Grief doesn't follow logic. But eventually, the pain dulled. The silence turned peaceful. I started to rediscover who I was outside of us. 6 months passed. Then, one evening, walking home from work with groceries in one hand and my headphones in the other, I turned the corner and froze. She was standing outside my building, wrapped in her coat, like it was the only thing holding her together. She looked smaller, not physically, but like someone worn down by guilt. like the weight of her choices had finally caught up to her. "Hey," she said, as if we'd just run into each other at the grocery store. Like nothing had happened. I didn't reply. "Can we talk?" she asked, her voice nearly swallowed by the noise of the street. I should have walked right past her. Should have kept going. But I didn't. Maybe part of me still needed to hear it. Maybe I wanted to watch her say out loud. We sat in a cafe a block away, a place I'd found after leaving her, one she'd never known, my own quiet corner of the world. She stirred her coffee but never took a sip. Her hands shook. Her voice cracked. "I didn't think you'd really go," she said. "That was my mistake. I thought your love made you soft." I told her it didn't. It made me strong enough to leave. She tried to play it down, said it wasn't serious, said she was confused, lost, that it was a terrible lapse in judgment. But mistakes don't last for months. Mistakes don't send good morning texts or late night selfies. Mistakes don't push your partner out of frame to make room for someone else. She cried, said she missed me, said her world had fallen apart after I left. Maybe she meant it. Maybe her regret was real. But that didn't change anything, because regret isn't love. And guilt doesn't fix what betrayal destroys. "I'm not asking for forgiveness," she whispered. "I just needed you to know that I still think about us." I nodded, not because I agreed, but because I finally understood something. I felt nothing, no pain, no resentment, just clarity. "You think about us," I said quietly, "but you didn't fight for us when it counted." She had no words, just a silence. She stood there waiting, hoping I'd say something more, but I'd already said everything. I left her at that table, her coffee untouched, growing cold, and walked back into the life I'd built from the ruins she left behind. Because sometimes strength isn't in yelling or crying or begging someone to stay. Sometimes it's walking away without a word and never looking back. When someone shows you what you truly mean to them, believe it. Don't wait for closure wrapped in empty promises. Don't accept apologies soaked in regret that came too late. Believe their silence. Believe their decisions. And when the moment comes, believe in yourself enough to leave for good.